Well, 5 years ago, let me describe Tillamook School District to you. We were a very different organization. We had just let 47 staff members go off of our staff, and this is in part due to how Oregon funds their schools. When times are good, our public agencies do better. We closed an elementary school. Our computers were operating on Windows 95. And the new superintendent and I, who also was brand new, our cash carry-forward balance was $60,000 to start the school year. So we had stumbled. It was time to get back up and finish the race. I picked that up from yesterday, because I think that's what we did. And so let me just quickly give you where in 5 years with that scenario, where we're at today. Today we have multiple new programs for students. We've hired back staff. We have a cash balance currently of $4.5 million. We're recognized as a leader in our state around teacher professional development, an innovative K-12 science math program. 75% of our teachers use ActiveBoard technology. I don't know if you know what that looks like, but it's smart boards on steroids. These things are incredible. Kids, I love the kindergartners when they go up and use the ActiveBoards, because it's not just for teacher use, it's also for our kiddos. And most importantly, our kids are receiving an education starting in kindergarten that is both academic relevant and relevant to the rest of their lives around community engagement. Because a lot of this is not about money. It's about a philosophy that we adopted. And so the new vision that we created 5 years ago was actually using the community as an extension of the classroom academics, applied learning and career exploration, K-12, not just high school. And we provided the ability for students to stay in the local community in high-skill, high-paid jobs. And that new vision includes creation of partnerships with businesses, our local community colleges, state agencies, retired volunteers. We will cooperate and partner with anyone. The state workforce plan, our governor suggested that to stay competitive in the year 2020, that we needed to have 40% four-year degrees, 40% community college or some advanced training, and 20% high school diplomas. That's the workforce that we need in the year 2020. What we were looking at is preparing students for the new technical workforce. That's really because what's interesting about, if you don't partner with your K-12 system right now, you're missing an opportunity, because every day, and I'll use the word lock up, we lock up your future workforce in our schools. There they are. And the kids in kindergarten need to be prepared. Our challenge is we need to prepare them for jobs that don't even exist. And so we have the challenge of working with other people, our industry partners, to say what are the jobs that these kids are going to be looking at in 12 to 15 years. We need to be futurists. Education needs to lead a lot of this. It's about math, science, and technology. And if we don't put those in our vocabulary in a significant way, we are not going to be competitive in this world. And so we're very purposeful. I'd love to teach biology right now in Tillamook High School, because those students, what they do is actually go into the field with elementary students and actually teach what they have learned in the classroom to the elementary kiddos. Now, that makes science really important to a high school, because you know what? Standing up here is hard, but I got to tell you, when a high school student is standing in front of a bunch of second graders, they get really serious about public performance and knowing their stuff. We have a very rich junior high career exploration program, and instead of buying simulators for the high school, for our technical programs, we actually buy real stuff that actually produces real things, like plasma cutters, so that our industry partners, rather than buying those things, they can actually come into our high school and use those to cut out parts and things that they need. And then we have some incredible high-level research projects. And again, how does this apply to biotechnology? Let me give you a great example. I'm going to use a kid example here. I wished I had Hayden up here. Hayden, last year as a sophomore, we require what we call a culminating project or a senior project, and Hayden kind of started his as a sophomore. Average kid, he's a good kid, dairy farmer family. And he was at the dinner table one evening, and his dad was saying about the cost of corn to feed the cows had gone up because they were making that darn biodiesel and, you know, all of that stuff. So Hayden, because kids think like this, I mean, our kids think like this, all your kids think like this, is he was going to school on the bus, and somebody talked about the invasive weeds. His teacher had been talking about invasive weeds. His project was to take Scotch broom, which is a very bad invasive plant, and he changed it into biodiesel that was 2 times more efficient than corn. And so he took that at the state level, and they said, no, we're going to bypass you at the state science fair. We're sending you to the international science fair. He competed against 57 other countries, not states, 57 other countries, and took a bronze medal for his project. He was offered four college scholarships at that point, 2 from the Chinese and 2 from America. So we were one of 3 pilot sites that started what we would call either a pre-apprenticeship or a youth apprenticeship program. And basically there we start students as young as 16 into those apprenticeship programs. And so we have focused on millwrights, which if you don't know what a millwright, in the old days, lumber mills, which we have still, brought a millwright in who basically built the mill. They would build the mill, and then they would travel on to the next mill. Well, today they stay at the mill and they become the engineers. And that was a huge piece that was missing from our workforce. Our business partners were spending $140,000 a year to recruit technical workers, and the truth is they got 0 results. And we did what I call the DUH program. Is the CEO of the companies that was right, by the way, the mill is right across the street from the high school, and they said, would you be interested in creating a program that will just entitle Build Your Own Workforce Locally? Duh. Of course. So what we did is they took that $140,000 that they were using for recruitment, and they just converted it into these programs to start to pay for our local kids to go to the local community college to get the skills. And by the way, they paid, when they were in the classroom at the college, they paid the same wage as what they were getting at the mill for their work.